What is up, Intuitive Sheepdogs? Welcome to another podcast episode of the Intuitive Sheepdog podcast with your host, me, Autumn Schmidt. As always, I'm so excited to be here with you and in your ears for another exciting podcast episode. Now, this episode is going to be unlike any other episode I've ever put on here in the over 100 episodes I've released. This episode is actually me coaching in real life a police officer. She's a client of mine and has agreed that I can share this. Obviously, I've edited it, so if it's a little choppy, you can understand because I'm not gonna, dish out some sensitive information. But in this episode and in this session, we discussed she is dating a male officer. And what I thought was really cool and very interesting, and what I thought you could get out of this was even though we date officers and we are officers, it's still very difficult for us to understand one another. Being a police officer is unlike any other job out there. And I think that it is important for you to hear, what she's going through. Not only are you going to listen to me as a coach, maybe you can begin to understand what coaching is. It's really kind of, I just kind of point out different things, ask the hard questions, ask the questions nobody's going to ask you to, answer, have you look at things that nobody else is going to have you answer. And I'm going to help you to change your perspective. As always, I believe that if you can change your perspective, you're going to change your life. And so this is a really unique opportunity for you to kind of come behind the scenes with me, hear from an officer and listen to like what she's doing, what she has to say, and so you can kind of gain that perspective. I hope that you're going to love this as much as I do. I want you to pay attention because if you do enjoy this podcast, I want you to go to the end and I want you to listen because I have an announcement, a very important announcement, but I'm only going to give it to you at the end of this podcast because I want you to hear what coaching really is. Hope you enjoy.
He kind of went through some weird things too, and he got to deal with the guy that blew his own head off.
Oof. So he's got some shit going on, huh?
Yeah, and where he works is the ghetto. It's bad.
Mm.
Like, he told me one time he was at a homicide where a female was literally like burnt on a grill.
Mm. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, what he does tell me, I know, like, it's a lot for him to tell me about. So like, he's getting better, but it.
He needs to find a new PD, man, because if not, it's not going to be good for him. And this is the shit. This
Yeah.
you're telling me that's like the magic formula,
Yeah.
It's coming from him from each side, so
Yeah.
he literally has no reprieve. So I know you're not cool like with the alcohol thing, but honestly, that's probably the only way he knows how to cope right now.
Yeah, and that's what I told him. That's why I'm like, I wasn't trying to attack him. He just took it as that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You need to.
Yeah.
He's like, I know. Okay.
And I'm not trying to be a bitch.
Yeah.
I don't want you to take that as me being a bitch. I'm gonna just be honest with you and just tell you that, like, yeah, I've been with my husband for a long time, and I'm gonna tell you, being with a cop is really hard. Even if you are one, I think even if you are one, everyone thinks it makes it easier, but I don't know. I don't know if it makes it easier, and it's hard, and it's fucking hard, and I don't know. I feel bad for the things that you're telling me, but the thing is, ultimately, he's going to need to make changes. He himself. Does that make sense? Like, he
Yeah.
needs to make these changes because I don't want to see you get dragged down into that bullshit.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yep.
I think about it all the time, but the biggest issue for me right now is he's 10 years older, and he always drops that on me. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, that's your opinion, but yeah.
Well, okay. So then let me ask you this. what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know.
You don't know? So why are you hanging out with him?
I'm kind of stupid. I don't know.
You're not stupid. Stop judging yourself. What's the truth though?
Okay.
Like, like, what's the emotion? Like, why, like, just like what? I mean, obviously you like this guy, but
Yeah.
you know, but let's just be real. Like, what about, like, I mean, if he's talking, like, I'm just being honest with you because I want the best for you, right? And I want you to, but I want you to think about this too. Like, think about it from, if I just told you all these things and I'm not even sure, we're not positive like where we're at, right? Like
Right.
romantically, and he tells you all the time that you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, but he really has it together. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you really got your shit together, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that, as he talks shit about where you work,
No, he has not.
does he talk shit that you're in like a small PD?
No, he really doesn't.
Good.
Yeah. He's like, I don't think I could work where you work because he rides with a person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's always cops flooding everything that he goes to. I go to things alone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I've put him in his place about a few things where he tried telling me he knew something better, and then I literally showed him the state statute.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, well, I don't do that. I'm like, then why are you freaking like trying to talk to me about something that I do every day and you've never seen?
Right. Right.
So he's backed off the ego a little bit, but I think it's mostly when I get really close to a sensitive, like when I strike a nerve, that he pulls out the, well, I'm older than you, so I have different life experiences and this is why I do this. And that was mostly the drinking thing. That was his reason. So
Yeah. Well, well,
I thought we were supposed to learn from like people before us, and just because somebody else did it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. But
yeah, it's not like that for a lot of people. And like, the thing about it is it really is the culture though. Like it really, really is the culture to do the stupid shit. It is. And so it's really kind of going against the grain. And when you're struggle busing, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's why, like, I'm glad that you have the group. I mean, it sounds like he would need something like that, something a lot of positive reinforcement, but it sounds like he wouldn't even be in the realm of being like, yeah, I need that. That'd be cool,
yeah,
So, I mean, just, yeah, I don't know. But just be thinking about that because, like, that's got to be weighing on you. I mean, you've got to think about that. I mean, if you're romantically involved and you actually really like somebody, I mean,
yeah,
is he the only person that you're talking to?
yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I caught feelings for him, so now I'm just like,
I caught feelings for him.
yeah,
You did. It was like in the air, and then like you just like caught it.
yeah. It just hit me in the face.
Oh.
I was just walking along one day.
You caught it
Yeah,
like you catch a cold, huh?
yeah.
Okay. So you
I
caught
don't know.
feelings for him.
I just like him and I care about him. So, but I have this thing where I guess I fall for people's potential more than what they are.
Okay.
So,
So can we back up for a minute? Do
yeah.
you mind that we're on the subject?
What?
Do you mind that we're on the subject?
No, this is probably my biggest like negative in my life. So, it's
Yeah, that's what
probably
I'm
good.
gathering. Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you see for your future? Just pretend that he's not there. Like what do you see and like what do you want for your future? You want to get married?
Yeah.
You want to have kids?
Yeah.
Do you want to do you know where you want to settle down?
I
But
don't know.
let's back up because I want and it's easy for us to just kind of give surface level, right? But like I
Right.
want you to just kind of think about this for a minute. And listen, I'm not going to steer you in one direction or not. Like you need to follow your gut. I'm really huge on that. But I just want to give you some perspective. So the question becomes, less about him, all about you. And the question becomes, what are the thoughts that you're telling yourself? Like, what are you doing? Are you telling yourself that you can't find anybody else, or that he's like the perfect fit, that he's like your soulmate, like, that you absolutely are so in love with him that there's nobody else, that even like you couldn't even imagine your life without him? Like, are those the thoughts that you're having? Or like, tell me about the thoughts that you're having.
Um, the thoughts that I have are, I've so because I'm like, well, if we're not in a relationship, I do try to meet other people, and like, because my aunt, the one who's married to my uncle, was like, just keep yourself open.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have, and I go on dates and I feel like it just like isn't the same. I'm like, I don't feel
Do you want to
like,
know why?
why?
Well, it's because you got to think about energy, right? So everything's energy, your energy, everything is energy. Okay. Your
Okay.
energy is more than 50% given to him. And so you just have to get real with that. Okay. I think the biggest thing that I could do to help you today is to help you see the fact, like, we just need to get real with some things. That's all. And like, I hope I'm not offending you, and I'm totally not trying to offend you. I just want you to see things. And sometimes it's easier when somebody who's taken a step back and has an objective look, because I don't even know this guy. You know what I'm saying? I can just point some
Yeah.
things out to you. And the thing is that I've been in your shoes. But when I was holding on to somebody, it didn't matter. For me, it was my high school sweetheart. We had this like on again, off again relationship. We were together for 3.5 years. We were gonna get married. And then the guy, I sent him down to Georgia, and he became to take this like accelerated 3-month lineman course, because I knew that I wanted, like, he wasn't very smart in school, and he wasn't going to go to college. And so he was either going to make $10 an hour on a farm, or he was going to do something like this and make a fuck ton of money. And I was like, so I got him all prepared, and he went and did this thing. Well, while he was down there, he was cheating on me for the whole entire 3 months. And completely ripped my heart out, broke me, like literally broke me. And we ended up breaking up. But like, you can ask anyone who knows me, like, it took me a good solid like 3 years of trying to date everybody I could. And then, but it didn't matter, because like, when he would call me, I would drop everything, and I would talk to him, and we'd hang out and we'd bang and blah blah, and because I loved him. Like, I thought that I loved him, and I think that I did. I mean, and then that's fine. But the thing is like, I dated a lot of really cool guys in between him, but like, I couldn't give them the time of day, because my energy with it wasn't with them, it was with him. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
maybe what's going on, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or if like you don't have these feelings, but like, sometimes like when you're with him, or when you're dating somebody else, or you go out with somebody else, you compare them to him. You're like, oh, well, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, me too. It got so bad that for me, let me just tell you, if a guy couldn't change his own oil, I was like, you're disgusting to me. Cause like, because the guy that I was with, he was like a farmer guy, and like, he did it all. Well, I was dating this game warden. I went on a date with a game warden. I mean, really squared away, nice guy. And I'm like, do you know how to change your own oil? And he's like, no, I just bring it to a garage. I'm like, this can't work. And I'm like, drop me off. And he's like, are you fucking kidding with me? I'm like, no. And all it was I wasn't able to let go of that energy. Okay. And so it's normal, but I just want you to be more aware of it than not. Okay. Because what happens is we make these stories up in our heads, and I believe that you have a story in your head that there's nobody else for me. Like, I don't feel like this about anybody. He's the only one I feel like this about. He's the only one that maybe gets me, or whatever. You have those kind of going on in your head.
Yeah.
Right. um so exactly. So when you have those stories going on in your head, what does that allow you to do? What kind who who can come in? Like, nobody can come in. Do you know what I'm saying
Yeah.
about that?
I do. Yeah.
And so again, I mean, if he's the one for you, then by all means, but honestly, like if you guys have been chilling for a year and like you don't even know if you're in a relationship, like what does your gut say about that? Because you don't even have to answer that. Just, you can tell me that in a minute, but I just want to go back and I just want to ask you something. And again, I know I say things that can be super offensive. I'm not trying to offend you, but I want to ask you the hard questions. The hard question is like, do you feel not good enough? Like, do you feel like he's like one of the best people that have ever given you attention or given you the time of day? Do you feel like there's nobody like in his arena of like however you look at him, do you feel like he's like the like best you'll ever have?
Um, it's kind of complicated, because I had. So this is kind of going back, but when I was 18, I was like, I fell super hard in love with this guy, and then he ended up passing away.
Aw.
So after him, it was like a dating train wreck. And so I was like, grabbing on anybody,
Mm.
and it was unhealthy. So then I thought, so now I met Mark, and I'm like, okay, this is good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I finally feel something real, so I don't know, maybe that's it.
Because it's the first time you felt something real, because it's the first time you fully allowed somebody else's energy to come in since, your high school, would we call
Yeah,
him your high school sweetheart?
yeah,
So what I think is going on is I think that you have a lot of trauma that you probably haven't like dealt with. Um, I'm not making you wrong. I'm just, if it were me, it'd be the same for me. It'd be for anybody, really. I'm not saying you haven't gone to a therapist. I'm not saying you haven't done the things. I'm just thinking that there's got to be some emotions in there that you have not faced. Otherwise, it wouldn't have taken this long for you to find a little emotion was for somebody. Does that make sense?
yeah, that does.
So, so then the question becomes, okay, so like, how do I move through these emotions? Well, there's a lot of different ways. A lot of it's talking about it. You seem like you might be somebody who doesn't just spill the beans to everybody. Is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah,
and so, talking about it in a productive manner would be helpful for you. I think that doing some tapping would be helpful for you. I think specific journaling helpful for you. I think that you need to forgive yourself. Is there something that you haven't forgiven yourself on? And I think you need to forgive yourself. What's that about?
um that's actually really creepy that you said that, but
Dude, I'm fucking told you I'm connected to the
yeah,
angels. Speak through me.
yeah. So before the guy that I was in love with died, our last conversation was angry.
Hmm.
So then I had to live with that, and I still like think about it. So that's why, like, every time I have an argument, I always have to fix it like before he goes to work. And like,
Mm,
yeah, so I have this problem.
that's what it is.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So you have to forgive yourself. So you got some work to do there, sister.
yeah, yeah,
I want you to know that you're normal. He's just the bridge. He's just the person that you've been able to feel a little something for. And you probably feel something for him because you can relate to him. The reason you're trying to fix him obviously is because you need to fix yourself. That's the truth. And so you're running around trying to fix everyone else because in your mind you're going to be able to try to fix you. You relate to this guy because he's been through a lot of traumatizing situations like yourself. And it makes you feel a little more put together, makes you feel a little better if you can help him, because in some fucking way you feel like that could be helping you. And it could be, as and being a cop, man, like that, the truth is that cops become cops because we all go through some fucking traumatizing shit in our lives, and we want to fucking make sure nobody else can go through that, or we can help them. Like that's the truth. So like, bravo on you. Obviously, I know like your uncle was a cop too, so I'm sure he had influence, but like, bravo on you for taking a situation that was very traumatic for you and being able to, you obviously, again, have helped people in traumatic situations too. You know what I mean? So like, good for you for not deciding to become, the Walmart greeter and
Yeah.
actually, like, doing something that's helping people. So I think that's really good. I think that
Yeah.
you have some stuff, and we all do. And you're not, I don't want you to think that, like, you think I'm calling you out or you think I'm any of that. I'm just telling you, I'm just pointing out to you that you got some stuff. And once you start working on and clearing up this stuff, I think that your life is going to change. I think it's going to change in a big way, and it's going to be easy. I just think that, I just think that you should probably start working on that emotional shit before you make a big jump of a PD. That's your sheepdog mama advice.
Yeah. Well, it makes complete sense to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
how's all that feel? I'm sorry, because here's what happens is, like, when I get on coaching calls, before I get on a call with somebody, I always ask the universe and the angels to speak through me and tell the person what they need to hear. And so a lot of times what will happen is I'll get on a rant and everyone's like, it appears to be a rant, but a lot of times it's like I just can't stop talking because, like, I have like a lot of shit like that, like, your angels want me to tell you, and so anyways, that's what happens. Anyways, but how does this make you feel? Everything that I said.
well, it makes me feel understood.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, that's
And
good.
that's kind of like where I'm like, I feel like okay at my PD, where I can just like, I'm learning the job and I'm comfortable here. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so I'm trying to like get everything else set in my life before I start getting super, I don't know, before
And
I just change everything again.
and
I
that's
don't.
what and that's what comes from within. Okay, honey. So a lot
Yeah.
of times we think it's all on the outside, right? I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna get in shape and I'm gonna get my degree and I'm gonna get my resume perfect and I'm gonna do all these things on the outside. But this is where sheepdogs fuck up is when we don't handle what's going on the inside. The outside, it's temporary. It's all temporary fixes. When you start working on what's going on the inside, then the outside starts becoming a permanent change. Okay, because
Yeah.
what we think about, we bring about. You've learned a little bit about the power of your beliefs, right? And manifesting, and you know what you believe. If you see it, you gotta believe it to see it, and just shit like that. It's like what we attract, like what we think about, we bring about. I mean, it's like the easiest way for me to explain it. So as you are up leveling in your life and you're looking to make changes, I want to, bring back to your attention that it's very important for you to do the inner work. Intuitive Sheepdog, I hope you enjoyed that podcast episode. It's very unique, very different. I'd love to hear your perspective. I'd love to hear what you learned. Maybe you saw yourself and my client. Maybe you enjoyed the questions that I asked. If you want more of this, but you're like still kind of dipping your toes in the water, I'd like to invite you on March 11th. I'm going to be hosting a workshop. This is going to be a sheepdog coaching workshop. You are going to literally get on a call with me, and you are going to be able to ask me questions, and I'm going to be teaching a little bit about what spirituality, what mindset is, how it can help you, what coaching is, and I'm going to be doing channeling with angels. I'm going to be answering your questions. It's literally going to be a live coaching call. It's going to be a group call, but you can definitely do it anonymously. Nobody has to know who you are. It's a call in thing. You get the recording forever. And it's in a really good way for one to come and get a mindset shift right then and there. Get your perspective change. Ask questions if you need if you need anything, a perspective change, you need a kick in the ass, you are really feeling down in the dumps, if whatever you need, this is going to be a very affordable way for you to come get live coaching with me, experience the transformations, keep the recording, and be around people who are like you. So, if you are interested in that, I want you to come onto my Instagram, DM me, look in the link below this, and you will be able to sign up. You can email me if you have questions, and I hope that I will see you on March 11th.